Welcome, brave souls, to a journey through the world's most haunted places. Beware, for these locations are not for the faint of heart. We're talking about cold spots, weird smells, things going bump in the night, the whole 9 yards of paranormal activity. So buckle up, grab your EMF readers and your skepticism, because let's be real, the demon is probably just the plumbing. And get ready to explore the top 10 most haunted places in the world. You've been warned. All right, let's kick things off with a classic, the Tower of London. This place has got it all: executions, imprisonment, torture, you name it, they did it here. The Tower's most famous resident, probably Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII's second wife, who lost her head literally over some trumped-up adultery charges. They say Anne's ghost, still pretty peeved about the whole head-chopping thing, roams the Tower, especially around the anniversary of her execution. There's also the 2 young princes, supposedly murdered by their uncle, King Richard III. Their ghostly cries are said to echo through the Tower at night. Look, I don't know about you, but if I heard the whispers of murdered children, I'd be out of there faster than you can say divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. Next up, we're heading underground to the catacombs of Paris. Imagine miles and miles of tunnels, but instead of boring old dirt and rocks, it's filled with the neatly arranged bones of 6 million Parisians. Just imagine you're at a party, trying to make small talk, and you can casually drop, "Oh yeah, I spent my afternoon with a few million skeletons." The sheer scale of it all, the silence, the knowledge that you're surrounded by the remains of millions of souls. Plus, there are stories of people getting lost down there, vanishing without a trace. And let's be real, if you're going to get lost anywhere, a maze of bones is probably not your best bet. It's enough to give anyone the heebie-jeebies. From the depths of Paris, we're going to a place that might seem a little less scary at first glance. A beautiful historic hotel nestled in the Rocky Mountains. Sounds charming, right? Well, this is the Stanley Hotel, the very place that inspired Stephen King's The Shining. Guests have reported seeing ghostly children playing hearing phantom piano music, which, to be fair, is probably just someone practicing their scales, and encountering a particularly mischievous spirit who likes to unpack your suitcase. Look, if a ghost wants to do my laundry, I'm all for it. But if it starts talking about all work and no play, I'm out of there. So, maybe not so charming after all. Chapter 4, Eastern State Penitentiary, doing time with Al Capone and other dead dudes. All right, buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to enter the grim world of Eastern State Penitentiary. This place was once the most expensive and famous prison in the world. It was designed to inspire penitence, hence the name. Visitors and staff report hearing disembodied footsteps, whispers and laughter echoing through the cell blocks. Some even claim to have encountered the ghost of Al Capone himself, perhaps still peeved about the lousy food. Look, I'm not saying I wouldn't be down to meet a ghost or two, but if I'm being honest, I'd rather not do it while trapped in a former solitary confinement cell. Chapter 5. Aokigahara Forest, the Silent Woods. From the cold, hard walls of Eastern State, we're traveling to a place of eerie natural beauty, Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Suicide Forest, at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan. Aokigahara is a place of immense sadness, a place where many people have gone to end their lives. The forest itself is eerily silent, the thick foliage muffling sound. It's said that compasses go haywire here, thrown off by magnetic anomalies in the volcanic rock. Out of respect for those who've lost their lives here, and for their families, we won't be diving into the specifics of the hauntings. But let's just say Aokigahara serves as a stark reminder that sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts or ghouls, but the darkness that can reside within the human heart. Chapter 6. The Queen Mary luxury liner or ghost ship, all aboard. We're setting sail on the RMS Queen Mary, a luxurious ocean liner that once ferried the likes of Hollywood stars and royalty across the Atlantic. But beneath the glitz and glamour lurks a darker history. The Queen Mary has seen her fair share of tragedy, including accidents, deaths at sea, and even wartime service. Guests have reported seeing ghostly figures strolling the decks, hearing children playing in the empty corridors, and feeling unexplained cold spots. One of the most haunted spots on board is said to be stateroom B340. Guests have reported strange noises, flickering lights, and even the feeling of being touched by unseen hands. Hey, if a ghost wants to offer me a complimentary cocktail, I'm not complaining. But if it starts asking me to join the crew for a midnight swim, I'm politely declining. Okay, folks, time to break out the hazmat suits and the holy water because we're heading to Poveglia Island, a small island in the Venetian lagoon with a seriously dark past. This place has been called the most haunted place on Earth, and for good reason. Over the centuries, Poveglia has served as a quarantine zone for plague victims, a dumping ground for the bodies of those who died from the Black Death, and even the site of a mental asylum. Visitors have reported feeling a sense of dread and despair as soon as they set foot on the island. There are stories of disembodied voices, shadowy figures lurking in the crumbling buildings, and even physical attacks by unseen entities. Look, I'm not saying I don't believe in ghosts, but I am saying that if I ever find myself on Poveglia Island, I'm not sticking around long enough to find out if they're real. Chapter 8. The Myrtles Plantation, Southern Hospitality with a Side of Haunting. Welcome to the Myrtles Plantation, a beautiful antebellum plantation in Louisiana with a dark secret, or 12. The Myrtles Plantation has it all: tales of star-crossed lovers, murders most foul, and even a former owner who met her end after being poisoned by a disgruntled slave. Guests have reported seeing the ghosts of former slaves, hearing the laughter of children who died tragically, and even encountering the ghost of a young woman in a green dress who's said to be searching for her lost love. Look, I'm not saying I don't believe in love, but if I'm being honest, I'd rather not find my soulmate in a haunted plantation. Chapter 9. The Winchester Mystery House. Home renovation gone wrong? Hold on to your hard hats, folks, because we're about to enter the architectural fever dream that is the Winchester Mystery House. This sprawling, bizarre mansion in San Jose, California, was once the home of Sarah Winchester, the wealthy widow of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. After the deaths of her husband and daughter, Sarah became convinced that she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. To appease these spirits, she embarked on a 24/7 construction project that spanned over 38 years. The result? A labyrinthine mansion with staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open to walls, and windows that look into other rooms. Guests have reported seeing shadowy figures, hearing footsteps in empty hallways, and feeling cold spots in certain rooms. Look, I'm not saying I wouldn't live in a house with secret passages and hidden rooms, but if I'm being honest, I'd rather not have to share it with a bunch of vengeful ghosts. Chapter 10. Island of the Dolls. Nope. Just nope. Okay, guys, I'm just going to say it. This one freaks me out. We're talking about Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of the Dolls, a small island south of Mexico City that's covered in, well, dolls. And not just a few dolls, mind you. We're talking hundreds, maybe even thousands of dolls, hanging from trees, nailed to walls, peering out from behind broken windows. It's like a scene straight out of a horror movie, only it's real. The story goes that a man named Don Julian Santana found a drowned girl's body in the canal surrounding the island. He also found a doll nearby, which he hung on a tree as a sign of respect, but that was just the beginning. Don Julian claimed that he was haunted by the girl's spirit, and he began hanging more and more dolls in an attempt to appease her. Look, I'm not saying I'm afraid of dolls, but I am saying that if I ever find myself on the Island of the Dolls, I'm getting out of there faster than you can say Chucky. And there you have it, the most haunted places in the world. Stay safe, and maybe stick to ghost stories from the comfort of your own home. So, the next time you hear a creak in the night or feel a chill down your spine, just remember, it could be worse. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the bedbugs bite, or the ghosts for that matter.